so much for joining me. Today we are trying on a lot of new makeup. In addition to all the new makeup, I thought we could try these side by side because I had questions about it. It kind of reminded me, this new #1 Chanel foundation kind of reminded me of the Chantecaille Fuchsia Skin. So I have those on side by side. I'm also trying out a new to me powder palette, this one by Terry. I've got these SUQQU products. I recently picked up this, the blush, the lip, and I think that's it for new things. Oh, the CLE De Peau Concealer. I've got that on now as well, next to the former CLE De Peau Concealer. So let's go ahead and talk through these products and let's just get started. Let's go ahead and do a side-by-side of these two foundations because I did mention they kind of reminded me of each other when I swatched this, just the way it felt and its sheer quality. And they both have like a skincare type of feel to them as well. They feel really nourishing and hydrating on the skin, and they both are on the undetectable side of foundation. So I'm gonna go in with Cream by Chantecaille on this side first. They are both buildable as well, but I prefer to use concealer. It just does a better job of building up more quickly in terms of the coverage I need right here in the front. And I know we have a lot of new viewers, so thank you so much for joining us. This brush, those of you who have been here before know what this is all about. This is the Shiseido face brush, and I think it was originally made for powder, so you would polish after powder to get a really refined finish. But I use it as a foundation brush, and it also says you can use it as a foundation brush. And I think it's the petals here, there are 4 of them, that make the biggest difference. Plus it's really soft. And each of these are tapered on the ends, so really seamless application. So I don't use a sponge, I just use this, and it's so fast, and every foundation is better because of it. And when you feel these, actually let me do a side by side for you, they feel similar. Now the Chantecaille feels a little bit more gel-like, just slightly. Yeah, they both feel really similar. Now I've got to now compare this with the Sublimage L'Essence de Temps because that has a similar feel. But here is the Chanel next to the Chantecaille. So you can see the difference in tones. This is BD41, this is Cream. So I'm gonna go in with a clean side of the brush here, and I'm gonna take BD4, oh, I should put apply it like I did the other way. Okay, so I'm going to show you side by side. That's what I meant to say. I'm going to apply it, just dot it on like I did last time. Did a little bit better the last time, but same idea. I'm just going to dot it on. Take this brush. Yeah, there's a slight fragrance with this Chanel foundation. So Chantecaille doesn't have a fragrance. That might be another factor for you. The finishes are slightly different. This one has more of that skin blurring technology in it that I can kind of see. And then this one doesn't have that kind of appearance. It just looks like perfected skin. Yeah, so I think the Chantecaille is a bit more undetectable than the Chanel. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the new CLE De Peau Concealer. Now this is in the shade Mocha. So far, just initial impression here is that it looks similar to the finish of the original. Actually, let me finish this side with the original, and this side, that'll be a better comparison, this side with the new Mocha. This is the new formula over here on this side. I'm gonna go all the way under the eye. I don't normally do this because CLE De Peau is typically on the drier side. I just love the Sizzly concealer because I can't find anything wrong with it. I don't need to powder, there's no creasing, anything like that. This one is on the thicker side, so make sure to maybe use the brush here. I think that helps a little bit if you wanted to, but I know I had questions about the hydration of this. Is it more hydrating, especially for under the eye? So let's take a look at that in a moment. I'm gonna wipe this away because I do want to see what the old Mocha is like compared to it, so we can see if there's a difference or not. Okay, so I've gone under my eye here with it, which I don't normally do, but for testing purposes, we were doing that today. It does still seem more dry than, say, my Sizzly. Of course, it's a totally different thing altogether because this is a stick concealer, so it's got to be more solid to begin with. We're going to go in now with the old Mocha on the other side, just so we can see a comparison. See if there's a difference in tone, in finish, in performance. This has slightly more peach in it, which, you know, I like. This will be a first impression side by side just because I use this pretty much every day. Maybe I should test these side by side every day and see what happens. But I did communicate with the rep online at CLE De Peau just to see what the differences were, because I noticed there was an ingredient in the new CLE De Peau concealer that addressed hyperpigmentation, which was really interesting to me. So far I like the tone, and maybe it's just like the certain batch, but I like the tone of the older Mocha. There's a little bit more brightness over here. As you look at the concealers and compare them, let me just read you really quickly what this has. So the new concealer has something called Zingiber aromaticus extract, and this is a new ingredient that targets hyperpigmentation. They also noted that they've added the skin powering illuminator that is their skincare product, or that is in their skincare products, to help the skin repair and defend against damaging stressors. Also, there's more coverage and will have benefits to the skin over time. Then finally it said it allows for optimal light diffusion due to the moisturizing effects. So we'll see how that goes. Really curious about the long-term impact on these darker areas. So I love that there's more SPF, and I love that it works on dark spots while it's on top of them. So that is a win-win for me, and plus I love the concealer. So I just hope the performance is just as good, but I do see it's a little bit like cooler than this one. I'm gonna go in with the By Terry palette that I received. I'm going to use the Everything brush by Roen. I love the shape on this. I'm going in with this peachy tone, by the way, right in the front. It's a really beautiful powder. It's very finely milled. Yeah, I love that tone. It's got a little bit of a color correcting aspect because it's peachy, it brightens. Yeah, I really like the tone of this as well. So we're gonna go on my forehead with this one. My forehead's always deeper than everything else. But it doesn't have any gray tones or anything in it, which I like because it brightens as well. And around the perimeter. That's a lovely powder, great brush as well. I'm gonna take this brighter shade here and just go up in the front. I just want to build a little bit more dimension here just so this comes out a little bit more with this lighter powder. And I love powders, I think they're so powerful. They're powerful when they're done well, put it that way. Okay, yeah, it looks really beautiful. Let me take a look. I like this powder because I can't really see it on my skin. It's more like it just perfects without seeing the actual powder on the face. It reminds me a bit of the Sisley pressed powders, as well as the Chantecaille, nowhere near the intensity of the blur powder, the perfect blur powder, but it reminds me of that idea where you get just a beautiful perfected finish without seeing any powder on the face. I'm gonna add a primer to the eyes, eyebrows, and see if I need the, or if I can pass on the La Prairie. I kind of want to add it because the concealer itself is not as brightening as the Sisley, so it looks like I have more darkness there, at least to me, than I normally do, so I might have to go and we'll see. But let me go ahead and put primer and eyebrows. Experimenting a little bit with my brows, see if I can do something slightly different, so I'll let you know if it works out. So I did go in with the Roen brow right in the front and then the Gucci on the side. You'll see a video of me using the Roen brow product all by itself, but today I just wanted to try this. Okay, let's go in with the eyes. Really excited about these eyes. Let's dig into this a little bit more than maybe I planned on it. We're going with this teal shade. Let's take that all over the lid, under the lid, and then under the lid, under the eye, and then go from there. I'm just gonna take the teal, this teal shade all over the lid because I really wanna see what this can do. It's a really nice texture. It reminds me a lot of the blush, the way the blush feels. It's got like a creaminess to it. Then I'm gonna go underneath as well. It's a beautiful color. Let's go on the lid again. No fallout here, it's just really adhering nicely, but also is applying quite evenly. Go under. I'm going to take this shade here and go on the crease, that Mocha shade. Just want something soft to kind of blend that in because it's a bit stark. You can see over here, but that softens it. Just going to take the Roen brush, this smaller side, taking the taupe shade, this one right here. I'm going to go underneath as well. Just taking, oh, lint. Just taking that taupey shade right underneath as well. Pretty much all I'm going to do, I'm going to take this shimmery shade, just give it a little bit of dimension right on the lid. Ooh, that's beautiful. So it just gives it a bit of a glow. There's some intermittent shimmer though, but it's very soft. I wish I had the new, I haven't picked it up yet, the new eyeliner by Victoria Beckham. That would be a great one, but this is going to be a beautiful one as well. This is Black Forest by Chantecaille. Oh yeah, that's like a perfect complement for this because it does have like a cool tone in it. Beautiful. You can see what a difference that makes. That's gorgeous. And then we're going to go and make like a bit of a kitten wing. I think I have to sharpen this though. Okay, so I sharpened the pencil. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm going to go and make a, I'm going to make a bit of a kitten wing here. So always starting halfway like this and then making a little triangle. Yeah, you can see how well these two go together. It's gonna go in with Earth, but I really think maybe this needs the black eyeliner by Chantecaille. I'm gonna tightline with the black because that way the brown will really pop against the green and the black here. I think another interesting choice would be something like navy. I think that'd be a pretty shade as well. But you see the difference between just the shadow and then once I add the eyeliner. So let me go ahead and even up the eyeliner on this side. How beautiful is that color? I love it. I love that there's some cool tones in there and then you can see how my brown eyes really stand out. Usually they don't stand out because they're so dark, but against that green, I think so pretty. And we're gonna go in with mascara. I usually do this off camera, but we're gonna try the by Terry. This is the Lash-Expert Twist Brush Mascara. And I know you can twist it or have it like this. I do remember using this product before and using it twisted first just to get a lot of product on there quickly because that's how I like my lashes. I like them full and long. More is more with mascara for me, but it can't clump. That's exactly what I don't want. Fullness or volume, that's what I'm looking for. And also one that doesn't do anything like flake or do something strange over many hours. Just got the mascara on. Now I'm going to do this and I like to kind of comb through and separate all of the lashes at this point. I'll show you both ways. Okay, so that's one coat or two really. So I'm gonna go in on the other eye opposite. This time I'm starting with a wand like this. So this way doesn't get as much material on as quickly for me, but it definitely is separating my lashes. So I think depending on what you prefer, you could probably do either. So you can see the result if this is how you'd like to apply. So in the end, I think they look similar to me. Okay, I'm gonna add some to the lower lash line. Yeah, if you get this SUQQU palette, I would get the Black Forest eyeliner by Chantecaille. Just works really well. I think it makes it sophisticated. What is the name of that? There's like a tree, an evergreen tree. It's called a silver something. That kind of green shade in there. Or is it blue? Is it blue? A blue spruce? A blue evergreen tree? Oh my gosh. It's silver or blue, something like that. Go ahead and clean up these corners here. Yeah, this is a great brush for this as well. If you want to clean up the corners, it's very precise. I'm gonna take my Sizzly bronzer. I hope you were able to get this on sale at the Bergdorf Goodman sale. I posted on the community tab. It's a pretty good sale. I don't know how long that sale's on for, but if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post in stories when I see a good promo on things that I love, not like random things, but things that I love and things I use all the time. Okay, I bet you're wondering why I haven't used this yet, the orange. I will, just a moment. I want to go in with the blush. These blushes are so promising. I loved how they swatched. They looked gorgeous. It makes me want to pick up all of them. Let me know if you want me to pick all of them up. I don't know if I will, but I'm really excited about at least the ones that I picked up. We're gonna use the new Roen brush that I received. Look at how beautiful that shade is. So it's swatched so beautifully that I have high hopes. Okay, I'm gonna pause there. Did you see how smoothly that went on? Looks like it's airbrushed on. It's so seamless. And I can get a feel for a blush pretty quickly because I think I try out more blush than almost anything else. And this one is beautiful. I bring it all the way up to the front because that's a really good way to check for texture. If I'm going to get any issues with texture, I will get it in the front here. So if you're concerned about that, I like to try that. I also like to try out if it will move any makeup underneath because I do have concealer there. I've got foundation, I've got powder. And if it's going to disrupt anything, it'll be disrupted there. And usually I'll see that more with cream liquid type blushes, but the blush brush by CLE De Peau is amazing for that, so that helps a lot, but that's why I like to test it all the way up here. Plus I like to color correct just a little bit if I can in the front. So yeah, gorgeous blush though. This formula, or at least this formula and this color, quickly a winner. I wonder if this brush has something to do with it as well, because I love the shape of this brush. You see how the bristles are shorter here and then they just get longer towards the center there. So that may have something to do with the application as well. It's a really beautiful brush. The reason why I quickly can determine if a blush is going to be something that I love is how does it apply? Is it seamless and really even going on, which this is? Does it disrupt makeup or not? And this one does not disrupt makeup. And one of the other things I look for is, does it make the skin look more beautiful? And this one does. It has a lovely glow to it that just enhances the skin. It makes it look more smooth, more radiant, healthier looking. So I'm just turning my head because I can see the light playing off of whatever's in here to make it look like that. And it's just a gorgeous blush. I put on a lot here just because I wanted to see what it looked like on. So let's go and do our little powder trick here. I'm going to take this powder, the peachy powder, diffuse that a little bit here in the front. It's a lot. The thing I want to do is I wanted to add the blush first and then we'll go in with the eye. So I want to take this orangey shade, this one right here, and I'm going to apply it a little bit above my crease shade, as if I were using it as a blush. I'm going to use this artist brush by Wayne Goss, the smaller one. Just take that and we're going to gently just dust that. You can see the color there. We're going to dust that right up here. Right up here. Pretty. So you can just see how it ties in slightly without being overpowering. Okay, finally, let's go in with the lip. Now I didn't realize that this actually, you're supposed to buy a lid that goes with this. There's a temporary one, but there is a permanent lid that goes with this. I didn't read enough information, but we're gonna go in with this shade. It's the shade number 12. I'm gonna take a little bit more of this green shade in the crease slightly. Just, I always stop a little bit short, I think. Get that in there a little bit more. Bit of by Terry powder here. This shade right here, I'm just gonna buff right at the beginning of my eye, just because I wanna make that a bit softer. Clean that up a little bit. This lightest shade, I'm gonna put that in the inner corner. And then for fragrance, I thought since this is green, we could go for a green fragrance, the Vetiver by Chantecaille. I think I used this recently in another video, or you're gonna see it in another video soon. This is beautiful, clean fragrance. I have the Vetiver Cedra as well. It's a bit more masculine, but this one's got a softer side to it. So some thoughts on these side by side. They are very similar, but again, this has no fragrance. It's more undetectable than this. And the shades are a bit different. This has the brightness that I really like, although this works really well. This one seems to do well when I have really well moisturized skin as well, but I thought I would show you them side by side. I'll watch for performance as well. Then we went in with the new concealer side by side. I think there was a slight difference in the tones, but again, I don't know if it's like a batch issue, but we'll see. I'll also check for wear on these. I don't know if it's that I went heavier with the concealer here, but I could see a little bit of darkness popping through here. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you noticed, but I went in with a little bit of the blur powder just to perfect a little bit more because I could see it popping out, which I don't normally see, but maybe I didn't apply as much. I don't know, but we'll see how that wears. But so far, the appearance doesn't seem that different to me. It looks very similar in terms of the finish. And in terms of the hydration, I didn't notice that much of a difference, that the old one was more dry than this. So if I didn't look at them, I don't know if I would know the difference, but let me wear these over and over again, and then I'll be able to tell really if there's something, but nothing initially that tells me it's any different. Yeah, it looked very similar. But like I said, I don't know why I saw a little bit more darkness coming through here. It's supposed to have more coverage. So I do like though that it has increased SPF, even if it's just a little bit, and that it will help address hyperpigmentation. So I really like that part. And those of you who know me know that that is a holy grail product for me. So I am accustomed to using it every day, and for me not to notice anything right off the bat tells me they are probably going to be quite similar. Then onto the palette. This is gorgeous. This might be the most exciting palette that I've tried. I've tried a lot of neutrals, pinks, and like warmer shades, but nothing like this. And I think that's why I loved that Byredo palette so much, because it was unique. Oh, I wonder how similar this is to the Byredo. I mean, initially it doesn't come close to the Byredo because that one has so many different textures and different levels of shimmer. This one's pretty even in terms of the shimmer, except for maybe this. This is a little bit more metallic, but this is more intermittent in terms of the shimmer. But I think it's a really easy palette to use, especially if you want to do something like this. Really easy to pull out a very stunning, unique, but quite wearable and also an elegant eye with this palette. So yeah, I'm really happy with the performance, and it went on really smoothly, evenly. Reminded me of the way the blushes swatched. They were very smooth with no powdery residue. So no fallout here with that green shade. And then I just used a little bit of that orange up above, just because I didn't want to overpower the green. I wanted the green really to stand out. Plus that Black Forest by Chantecaille is a perfect pairing for this eyeshadow. If you wanted to pick up the SUQQU, I'd also pick up the Chantecaille in Black Forest. It's as if they were made for each other. Now the mascara, the By Terry mascara, is lovely. I'm gonna watch the wear on this, but it builds volume and length quickly, which is what I love. So I will continue to try this out and see how it goes, but really happy with my mascara today. And then the blush. Between the powder and the blush, these have me really excited. I love the way this applied. It was so seamless, really easy to apply. Yeah, there's nothing I didn't like about this blush. And if you were thinking about picking one up, I would pick one up. Just pick a color that you like. I'm not sure about all the colors, but they looked beautiful, and I still have to try this one out at some point. But if you, yeah, that looks beautiful too. But if you notice, I didn't go around the edges and buff in like I normally do with a powder blush. Powder blushes can be a little bit rough on the exterior, not rough, but you can see where it begins and ends. And I'll usually run a powder around the perimeter just to soften that, but I didn't have to do that with this blush, which I haven't had to do with a lot of the blushes I've recently picked up, which is really exciting. So that also tells me how good they are. So all those things that I love in a blush are in this blush. I tried a lot of blushes and I have been very wowed by many of the new blushes, including this one. And then the lipstick. This was really hard to determine online what this product was because they looked so light and the swatches weren't very clear. I couldn't get a handle on what was what. So I picked one that I thought might go with the palette, something a little bit warm. So it's a sheer matte lipstick. It reminds me a bit of the Cashmere formula by CLE De Peau, but sheer, and also with some nice hydration. So you can see it's not like a flat matte. It's a very comfortable one, and let me just take a look. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's really a matte. I mean, it's not glossy either, but it's just a touch more matte than a traditional lipstick, and again, more sheer. But that's a beautiful everyday kind of shade. I think it goes really well. And then these brushes, I don't know where this is gonna come because I filmed a couple of videos already, but these are lovely brushes by Roen. Very happy with all these brushes by Roen. Oh yeah, also the By Terry powders. Lovely powders, undetectable powders. I would say that is a good word to describe these. You can see their effect, but you can't see that you have powder on your face. I really love that quality when it comes to powder. And I do like that there are different shades in here because you can bring out features with the lighter shades. I love that this is a deeper shade, but not cool. For my forehead, I thought that was really beautiful as well. So really happy with the makeup items I tried out today, but let me know what you're excited about. I'd love to know. Let me know if you picked up any of these or if you have any of these and how you use them. Please share in the comments section below. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.